recording it, there's probably too many textures, right? Yeah. Let's get physical. Hello. I don't say hello. Heidi, hi. Help me, Lord. Heidi, hi, friends. Welcome back to my channel. I had a very rough day because I know everyone's just like, and everyone can't drive. And you're like, you have to look at yourself sometimes. I was doing standard laws, right? Stay in your lane, do the way people were driving today. I have never cursed so much in my life. I feel like I need 4 communions. I don't want to think about it too much, which is why we're jumping into Reddit relationship stories. Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, first story for today. We have wife, a 35-year-old female, cheated on me, a 37-year-old male, emotionally. We always forget about the emotional cheating. That's a very big thing, right? You want to confide in your partner, so trust and like emotional availability, like all those things are important. And the sacredness of that in a relationship and doing it with someone else. No. What can I do to get past this? Okay. We have TLDR, but I'm going to read it, so that's fine. And it's not even that long. If they can't read this, let me not. Problematic. All right. My 37 male wife, 35 female, was caught having an emotional affair with their ex-boyfriend from college. And talking to your exes. Their communication spread across multiple platforms, including Snapchat. All right, do you only do that with friends? That's crazy. So I am not sure of everything that has been sent. I did see some texting, which included some flirting, and suggestive GIFs and memes that included phallic images. We have been together for almost a decade and married just shy of 5 years, but she knew this man from college. So this has been going on for a minute, most likely. Either it's been going on since college and they've just always been doing this, which it's still bad. But what's even worse is if they stopped talking and at some point in your relationship time, they reconnected. Yikes. She doesn't believe that was having an emotional affair. Of course she doesn't, because the messages were often sent while drunk. Girl, that ain't no excuse. And they did not include talking about meeting up or directly saying they wanted to do things together. Does she know what emotional cheating is? Okay. It's like, okay. You don't need to be physical to have an affair, okay? They included complaining about me often. That's a big no-no. Wanting to FaceTime. Phone sex. Okay, maybe. Talking about her ass, etc. etc. There was more. You understand? I found this all after she told me she would stop talking to him. Leave. Since addressing her, she stopped drinking entirely and blocked him on everything. For now, she wants me to check her phone periodically. Oh, yes, so you can check my phone today. Just cleared it out. She also seems upset that I am still hurt and upset by this. Girl, you're the one that you can't dictate. When you've made a mistake, you cannot dictate the timeline for people to get over it. You can be upset of okay, well, this was X amount of time, but you can't dictate how long it takes for someone to get over that, especially when you're trying to reconcile and you know you were wrong. It has only been right now, and I was just about to caveat and say all right, if this didn't happen, it's been going good for a year. Don't keep punishing someone for something you've forgiven them for. If you don't feel like you can forgive them, then move on. But if you're I'm trying to forgive you, I'm working through it. There comes a time where it's okay, enough's enough. Either you are going to try to move past this, and if you're I don't know if I ever will, then leave. Because that's not going to be a good relationship. But she gave you a week? What's a week supposed to show? So tell me after she'd been talking to this man for how many years that the next day after you called her out, you can check my phone today. After she deleted it, after she blocked him. What? And eventually she's planning on doing this for 2 weeks and then unblock him and be he doesn't know. What went through her mind that she was yeah, a week. That feels sufficient. I am not sure what to do from here. I love her, but this is also weighing on me pretty heavily. I'm exhausted, sad, and cannot trust her right now. Any advice would be helpful. Yeah, leave her. It's not even the fact that like, well, she didn't end up meeting with him. First of all, she knew what she was doing was inappropriate. It's inappropriate to be sending these kinds of flirty messages when you are in a relationship with someone, let alone doing that with your ex, someone that you've been physical and intimate with, that you've had a relationship outside of just being platonic. Right? There is a level of disrespect, and like you have mentioned this before that you do not feel comfortable with this, and she said, "Okay, I hear you," and still went behind your back to do it. That's when you should have left. All right, now we come into the present. You find out it didn't happen. She still was talking to him. This stuff's still going on. And now she's like, I want you to get over it in a week. When she's been doing these actions for years. Let alone the part where she says, or the part you found out where like they were talking about you. Right? There's a certain thing of like, I had a hard day with like my partner, and you want to talk to a friend to vent a little bit, like, oh, he just does this thing sometimes, it bothers me, right? Where it's like we're venting with each other and it's a safe space. That can only happen with certain people. That can never happen with an ex. That can't happen with someone that you may or may not have had close interaction. Like, you have to be very specific about the kind of people you can like feel comfortable having conversations about your relationship with. And most of the time, I would say you should leave people out. And sometimes it's small, like, he works so much, and I feel like some needs are right. It's okay to talk through things so you can have a way of getting a gauge about like, this feels reasonable, right? Or it's just like, am I tripping? And have a good friend to say, yeah, sis, you are, right? That's one thing. But like, to badmouth them and like kiki behind their back with no plan on ever addressing or bringing things to your partner, cruel and nasty. That's nasty work. I don't like that at all. And being drunk doesn't excuse anything. Let me see if, okay, let me just do a little, because I remember I glimpsed the comment. Emotional cheating is still cheating. Being drunk doesn't excuse cheating. If she can't accept that she cheated, it will happen again. Exactly. She'll say like, but I didn't meet with him, right? That's her caveat to saying like, it really is not that bad. And you know, some people feel that way, but they get to decide if they feel that way. And you don't feel that way. I don't feel that way, I think. A lot of people don't like it's still as bad for a lot of people. And she's just trying to like belittle it so she doesn't have to be the villain in your story. You know, you need to leave. I'm not even going to play around and say and work with it. There were too many. Like I rattled off like 5 things. If you stay with her, that's your own. Take at your own risk. No, ma'am. All right, one more. All right, last one. This is a very quick one. We have our fun little paragraph ones. So we have my male who's 26 girlfriend's 24-year-old female coworker kissed her coworker, a 24-year-old male, at her work party. How do I move past this? My girlfriend and I have been together for 4 years. Last night she had a work event that led into more drinks afterwards, okay? So is the alcohol when it get flowing, okay? Mercy. She told me first thing this morning, and okay, that's good. And basically her coworker kissed her, but she lingered a bit before she pulled away. Okay. I'm getting a picture. She was very distraught and kept saying she was really sorry and regretted it, and she wasn't thinking. Okay. I just feel numb and in shock and betrayed. I have no idea what to do now. How do I navigate and move past this? Is this forgivable? I actually, wow, like, let's have a little round of applause. I think you can actually work through this. And the reason I say that is because the very next morning she went to you with what happened, and she had the ability, because they were just coworkers, she had the ability to attempt to keep this as a secret or to delay it, but she decided that it was better to get this off her chest and to let you know what happened, and also to be honest about it. Be like, he kissed me and I was like, ew, what are you doing? But just so you know what happened, versus like, he kissed me, I'm not going to be honest, and I let it linger. There's something about being able to own up to it, taking responsibility in a way that was not demanded of you. That you, and I could be giving her more credit, which I hope I'm not, but like ideally it's like, I know that I need to talk to my partner about this because it happened. That in itself shows me that she has some character, right? And she didn't initiate the kiss, allegedly. So if she didn't initiate it, but she feels guilty for lingering there, that's a different story. I think the follow-up question is like, well, I don't know if I feel comfortable with you being around this coworker, right? She's like, I think that's fair. Here's the ways in which I'm going to avoid being around this person, especially when there's alcohol. Like, obviously work with this person. So is it like there's team happy hours? If I go, I'm only going for one drink and then I'm leaving. And less so for being drunk, more of like minimize the amount of time I spend around him. If he's not there, maybe I'll stay later, right? Is it like I'm going to be very specific about the ways I interact with him and making sure that I keep it purely business. And when he tries to interact with me, that I shut it down. And also, it would be good to say, like, I want you to also talk to him and tell him what he did was inappropriate and to never do it again. That's the part I think some people miss. It's like, I'll just avoid and do this. I was like, no, go to that person, tell him, you knew I was in a relationship. I did not appreciate you doing that. So please never do that again. Word it however you want. But I think that's fair. I think if she's willing to make those kinds of requests and set up those kinds of boundaries, I think that's absolutely something you can work with. But that's not for me to decide. I think that I could get, especially because if I was you, I'm like, she didn't initiate. Yes, she did linger, but she did tell me about it immediately, from an honest place. Even like putting herself in it to say, like, I did this. Here's the small part I played, but I did play a part. I think that there is something. I think there's ways to work with that. But that might not be you. You might be like, I don't know if I can ever let that go, because why did it linger? At what point? And when people are, and the fact that alcohol was involved, like alcohol wasn't involved, that's a little more red flag. Not to say that it makes it okay, but your inhibitions, right? That's what alcohol does. Your inhibitions get a little lower. Like, she like wasn't in shock and you just didn't realize, right? There's a lot of different ways to look at it. So I would say that I think the conversation, I still think you need more details about this coworker, because I think that would give you an idea of like if it feels like you can forgive her or not. Because if it was like, yeah, we talk and we hang out, and he's the person I talk to most of the holiday parties, then it's like, okay, well, now I'm getting nervous that like you were actually giving him signs that it was okay to do this. Oh, am I going to change my own opinion? Yeah, he could say that. He's like, you could find out or hear from the conversation that it sounds like she was leading him on and he was just following her lead. And she realized she was wrong in that moment to be doing that. And if it felt like it was that, then I'd probably break up. So you can tell if the character felt like it was honest and coming from a good place, then great, stay together. If it was like, no, she had been flirting with him, but didn't expect him to take it that far. Well, I don't know why he was flirting with him in the first place. You're done. Okay. So let's go either way. You need to ask I think asking the questions that I posed will give you the answers that you seek. So say the wizard. All right. I don't like that I did it that high. So that's all for today, friends. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And also drop in the comments how you feel, especially about that last one. Do you feel like she was actually being genuine by mentioning it? Because again, she didn't have to mention it. I think that's nice. But like, maybe she's like, he knows some friends at work. I want to get ahead of it. Tell me what you think about that situation. I'm curious to hear whether you think it was like, or it seems like there were some additional questions in the comments. People who saw it could go either way. So, speaking of either way, this video is going to end. Goodbye.